Right, you little plebs. I'm going to give you a little lesson in SEO websites, specifically to answer this question where I get asked, why is my website not getting leads like yours? Why is my website not getting traffic? Or why is this website ranked above mine? So what I'm going to do is jump into Google and we're going to do some searches and look at companies. We're going to pick the top 3 that are ranking. We're going to pick some on page 2 or wherever, and see why they're not ranking. And I'll show you the patterns, because people get missold SEO, people get ripped off, or people just don't even understand what they're doing, or you try and tell them what they need to be doing, and they just think it's a sales pitch. So I'm just going to show you the cold hard facts of why your website is potentially rubbish and why you're not getting no leads and why somebody else is, right? So we'll jump into this tool lately, right? This is Ahrefs. So if you look at this is like basically the traffic spike, right? So this is Reddit, so it's not relevant to your business, right? But if you do what Google likes, Google rewards you with more traffic, and you can see that here. So like, this isn't a business, but like, if you think about what Google is, it's wanting to provide answers to people who are doing searches, and Reddit, which is the traffic what I'm showing you here. Obviously, there's a lot of people answering questions, and it's real information and factual. So it is actually a good source for Google to show people who are doing searches, and that's why it's got so much traffic. But what you need to do is have your website be the resource for the service that you provide. So anyway, less of that rubbish. Let's go back over to Google, right? So cleaners Darlington, okay. Sorry if your business comes up here, but things have to be done. Get past the maps, get past the adverts. Right, so Molly Maid, Checker Trade, we'll ignore them. Sparkle Gang, Happy Homes. We'll do 3, right? So we've got 3, the top 3 there. Let's go to page 2. And who goes to page 2 to look for something? But let's go to page 2, right? And who have we got? We'll pick them. Bottom of page 2. Shiny Happy, bottom of page 2. Bust the Dust. We've got 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom, right? Now let's go and have a look. So, Molly Maid. Like, Molly Maid, I think Molly Maid is like a national brand, so they've probably got a powerful site in most areas, for most services, which explains why they're ranking high. But look, these here are like, basically, they've got a page for every one of these regions. They've got a lot of traffic. So when I'm talking about content, you need to have your services spread out like on individual pages, not all mashed on the same page. And then again, if you want to rank in a different town, you want another page again for that same service but in a different town. So that's what these guys are doing here. That's why you've got these different locations mentioned. And then I bet, see, when you click on services, they've got each service listed out. And then if you were to go and click on one of those, you've got content specific to that service and a reasonable amount of it. In fact, that's not quite a lot of content, so I think that this website is riding off the traffic because of links that they've got, links pointing to them from other websites, because their content is not great, it's just okay. Let's look at these guys. Again, segregated services, which is what you'd want to see. So they'll be getting traffic to all these different services, not just that one search that I did there. You can see they've got quite a bit of content. Again, all of the services. Professional looking site, questions, answers, all that kind of stuff. Okay, now Happy Homes Cleaning. Now these guys are doing it a bit differently. This is an old site. These are like, there's an SEO behind this site, or an inexperienced SEO, I would say, because they're cheating a bit here, putting all these different words down the bottom. So it's similar to what I'm going to get to, but this is not done professionally. This is like a cowboy way of doing it. But if it works, right? But I wouldn't advise doing it this way. These are probably riding off links as well. And in fact, let's have a look at this one. Let's have a look at why this one's ranking, because there hasn't got a lot of content on there. Let's come over here. Put that in there. Right, so they've got 200 keywords they're ranking for. That's not a lot. Let's look at the domains that they've got pointing to them. So they're in all the basic directories and stuff like that. Best pros in town, who are they? See, I knew there was somebody behind this who's not a typical business owner, because they've got a listing there in Denver, which is an American location. So these have either bought an old domain that's got power and then put their company on it and target it to the northeast in England, or they've just put the link in the wrong place. I don't know if a website, but point being, these have got links pointing to them, whether they're good or not. They've at least got some pointing to their website, and that helps it get traffic. And that's one of the reasons why it's ranking on the top. Okay, let's get Molly Maid. They were number one, weren't they? Let's have a look at them. Right, so they've got a lot of traffic. 3,900 keywords that they've got ranking for. 474 domains, that's a lot. Look at that traffic. So you can see a clear difference there of like somebody who was third and somebody who was first. Look at how many more domains they've got pointing to them. That's why SEO costs money, because you've got to pay people to put links from their website onto yours. And they've got a lot of links and they're ranking for a lot of keywords. I would imagine they're ranking for a lot of keywords because they've got a lot of different pages and a lot of locations. Look, they're ranking in Edinburgh, Glasgow, Belfast, St Albans. You get the picture, right? So they've got services in multiple locations, which is why they've got so much traffic, because they're picking up traffic from all these different locations, not just from Darlington. And they're ranking highly because they've got links as well pointing to them. So now if we go to one of the lesser sites from page 2, instantly, I would argue this is not a site that's not fully relevant to house cleaning, because they've got other stuff in there. So that doesn't help. If you look at the content, I mean, you've got a sentence. Let's go and have a look at that page, because they do have different pages as well. Window cleaning. Right, so the content is very thin, but it's not a terrible website, to be fair. Let's have a look at the... See, the reason this isn't ranking well is because it doesn't even have like a page for cleaners. That's why I'm struggling to find the content that I was looking for. So it does have office and communal cleaning here, but if they do that, then why wouldn't they do a house? Do you know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't they be coming up for general cleaning? Because they don't have content targeted enough for general cleaning or different cleaning services. It's a bit all over the place, to be fair. So let's have a look at the next one, Shiny Happy. Okay, so they don't have services listed out individually. They've basically got a paragraph of text for Darlington cleaners rather than set out content. They haven't got pages for locations, they've just got locations listed as words on the page. Okay, so it's just very basic content, so you can understand why they are not ranking first page, because it's just very basic. So like, here's the next one, services. So this is the Darlington page. Basic stuff, basic paragraph, little list. You know, they probably pulled that content out of the head. You know, it's a small amount of content, and it won't have the keywords in that you want to rank. So that probably, a lot of this probably didn't make sense to you, right? But you've probably seen a clear pattern there where the top 3 had a lot more content, a lot more links. In fact, I didn't show you the links of these ones, did you? Let's go and grab one of these poor ones and put that in the bust the dust. You know what? They've got a reasonable lot of domains then. Bust the dust, let's have a look at them again. Right. So we've got Middlesbrough Cleaners up the top, and it's text. You know, and it's on the Darlington page. That's a conflict there, you know, like the words are all just in the wrong places, you know, like it's not helping them rank at all. Got Middlesbrough down there as well. So like the content is just not on point basically. So that even though they have got links, like I just showed you, the content is not on point, so they're not getting the benefit of those links. Let's have a look at this one, Shiny Happy Cleaning. See, they've got next to no links at all. So that's one of the reasons why they're on page 2. Got next to no links pointing to them, ranking for 8 keywords, not hundreds or thousands. So you can see the pattern. So I'm going to show you the pattern and make it more visualized for you. So cleaners Darlington, right? So this is called a correlational tool. So what it does is it pulls in all of the different keywords pages that are ranking for your keyword that you want to rank for. It pulls all them in together so you can amalgamate a piece of content that has all the different things these people that are being rewarded that have got on their website, the stuff that's on their website that they're being rewarded for. I will get my words out. This will pull them together so that you can create a piece of content that's better than all of theirs put together. So if we look at the customization of it here, you can kind of see a pattern. Do you see how like the people who are ranking the top, they've got an authority. So authority is like basically the more links they've got pointing to them, the higher their authority is. So even if their content isn't as good, somebody with higher authority can rank above somebody who's got a lesser authority. But in this instance, their content is not bad and they've got high authority. Checker Trade will ignore them. Happy Homes. That was that suspicious one, wasn't it? So like they've got things going on behind the scenes that's helping them a bit there. So that's why their content score isn't great and their authority isn't great. Sparkle Gang, good content score, decent authority, and you can see the people below, they've got less content score, they've got less authority, and the further you go down this list, there will be outliers like this one. The further you go, they've got rubbish authority, but you see the further you go down, the scores are lower. So this is my point. The higher you can get your content score, the higher you can get your authority, i.e. good content and good links, then the more you're going to rank, and then the more leads you're going to get. It's as simple as that. So there's nothing really more to say than this. I could end the video right now, but what I'm going to do is I'll close all these down because I think I've covered those enough and explained it enough for you so you can have a good understanding. We'll have a look at house clean in Liverpool. Okay, look at a bigger city. People in the city spend more money on their websites because they've got to be more competitive. So house clean in Liverpool, who have we got there? Broom and bucket, made to clean, scouse clean, and then we'll get somebody from page 2. We'll get peachy clean Liverpool. I avoided that one down there because it's deep clean in Liverpool. When you've got an exact match domain like that, it can be rewarded for the wrong reasons that I'm trying to explain in this video, so we'll leave that one out. So we've got 3 lower ones, 3 top ones, right? We'll do the same thing again. Look, they've got content laid out for different services, for different pages, so they've got a lot more. They've got pages that are a lot more relevant for the searches they want to rank for, and they've got pages in different towns. So they can rank for a lot of keywords basically. And if we were to look at the links of this, I bet you they've got links as well. We'll quickly grab one actually and do it at the same time. Broom and bucket. See, they're ranking for a decent amount of keywords. What domains have they got? In the basic directories, free best rate, they're actually in free best rate. That's quite a difficult one to get in. It is just a directory, but it's quite hard to get in. So little things like that is like other people won't have that, so it puts them above others. So if your content 10 point and your links 10 point again, you rank higher. You see the pattern. Let's grab another one. Made to clean, Liverpool. Right, so they've got quite a lot of content there. So they're covering a lot of different topics. Whether it's vague or not, they are covering a lot of different topics, which comes back to this tool here, where like, see all these different words? If you mention all these different words, the appropriate amount of times, you've got a bigger chance of ranking, you get a higher score. So even though that this content is laid out in a different way on this site, it is still got content that somebody else might not have. So even though it's not great, it's better than somebody else's. That's why they're ranking. In fact, Made to Clean, that brand sounds familiar, so these could be a national brand as well. I'm not sure, so they've probably got good links. Definitely, yes, they've got HubSpot there, I know that straight away. So this is a much more bigger established brand. You can see they've got a lot more links. A lot more links. and obviously you can see a lot more traffic as well. Big powerful site, that one. So you can see why the top ranking sites are ranking, because they've got better content and a lot more links. That's why SEO is expensive, because you've got to pay to have the content, you've got to have a specialist do it for you, and you've got to pay to have links, pay other people to put links on their website with content that they've got on their website that point to your website. That's why websites and SEO is expensive if you do it properly. And if you don't do it properly, that's why you don't get leads, you little dossers. Right? So this is one of the rubbish ones though. So I'll show you, I shouldn't say rubbish ones. This is one of the page 2. So they haven't maintained their website, they haven't got a certificate on there. Look, in fact it's down. So we'll just close that one. So obviously that's ranking on page 2 because it's broken, it's down. This is another one on page 2. Very thin content, literally nothing on that page. So it's targeting home clean in Liverpool. Don't know if you can see in the browser there, but that's what that page is called, home clean in Liverpool. But there's no content on there, so very basic. Is there some in there? No. They just put postcodes and locations. Look, they're just trying to cheat and just not doing it properly. They've been given bad advice, or they've got a bad SEO working for them. Get this one up. This was another one of the bad ones. So they have got services set out on different pages. Right, so this one has actually got reasonable content. Has it got locations? No, it hasn't. Well, the problem with this one is the content is not specific to what we were just searching for. It's vaguely the same. That's why Google's displayed it. But if these were to make content for cleaners, like house cleaner Liverpool, on their page somewhere, then they would rank for it, but they haven't, which is why they're not ranking. So I would guess that they haven't got many links as well, but it is a better website than those other 2 that were on page 2. Right, so they have actually got quite a lot of links and quite a lot of traffic, but that page wasn't ranking on page 1 for Liverpool for that term because the content's not on point. They didn't have content specific for that term, so they haven't covered the topics enough on their website. So let's look at this one. I'll show you this thing again just to hammer it home to you, because there'll be a pattern where, like, the higher the content score, the higher the rank, and you can see the lower scores down here, lower in the ranks, and again lower authority, lower in the ranks, and then people up the top, high authority because they've got a lot of links and good content. Nothing more to say, guys. Like, if your website's not getting leads, it's because you haven't built enough links or you haven't got good content. Put the content on first and then you might get more leads, and then start building links. Links is more expensive. If you want help with that, then reach out to me, because it's what I do and that's how I make my money, because I know what I'm doing. Goodbye.